probably one of the best airports to have a layover in. The airport itself is filled with free entertainment and amenities, including free Wi-Fi, free areas to nap, free showers with towels, and a Korean cultural experience center. If you have a long layover and some extra energy to explore, you can take advantage of the free transit tours offered by the airport. Since I had so much travel planning to do before this point and so much travel coming up, I went ahead and left my 11-hour Incheon airport layover plans to the free transit tours desk. So the free transit tours vary by the time you have available when you arrive and when you have to fly out and what terminal you're at. There's 2 terminals. I'm at Terminal 2, which is just Korean Airlines, and there's a variety of lengths of time. The longest tour is 5 hours, and that longest tour takes you into Seoul, which is an hour drive from here. So the first stop on our tour is this, I can't say the name of it, Changdeokgung Palace. It's like the second biggest palace in Seoul. There's like 5 palaces. The biggest one is not that far, but it's closed on Tuesdays, and today is a Tuesday. So around this palace there's a lot of people in traditional Korean clothes, and I'm told by our tour guide that's because it's very popular for tourists to rent these traditional clothes and take pictures in the palace. So everyone wearing these traditional clothes are not actual Korean people, they're tourists. And if you wear traditional clothes, you can get in for free. It's only $3 to get into the palace though, and apparently to rent the clothing it starts at about $20. One of the cool things you see when you peek inside the throne room is this painting behind the main chair or throne there. It has 5 mountain peaks and a sun and a moon. Apparently the sun is the king, the moon is the queen, and the 5 peaks represent different parts of Korea, including North Korea. And one of those mountains, they're drawn true to life, and one of them is just right over here. A little excited when I read that this palace had a secret garden. Something about a secret garden is really appealing, but apparently it really is secret. You can't just go in there. You can only go at certain times, and you have to be accompanied by a staff member. And so with our short time, we won't be able to check it out. Is Insadong shopping street, and it's like a main drag basically, but there's a lot of little side streets, and they have arts, cosmetics, and all kinds of food. So they did feed us on the plane, but I didn't have any coffee because it was like 3 a.m. at that time. So I'm having a little bit of coffee and tea and some sweets to start my day, because I definitely need some coffee, and they have a matcha latte that looks really yummy. So they have this special 2 drinks and sweets, which I think is supposed to be shared between 2 people, but I wanted an extra jolt, so I got 2 drinks just for me. Matcha latte, cafe latte, and I think I'm gonna have to bring some of these sweets home because I can't finish them all myself. This one's a lot less dense than I expected. This cake is warm. Tastes like an almond cake with honey. Almost like a paste. Like I can squish the dough between my fingers. It's good. So this guy making dragon's beard candy just gave me a demonstration about how it's made. It's like a mix of honey and rice powder.
So this is the honey and sticky rice. It's very hard.
And they stretch it out like a noodle. Very, very thin.
This is water. Now this white powder is cornstarch. Make a hole. Now stretch this little by little. It's going to get longer and thinner. So I'm going to make this into 16,000 honey strings.
Wow.
So we have one string. So we have 2 doubles 2. We have 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 256, 512, 1024. This is already very thin. 1048, 4096, 8192. Lastly, 16,384.
And then they wrap it in nuts. And the guy who was watching the demo with me, he gave me a sample of his that he just bought. I bought some for the road, but I'm not gonna eat it now. But he gave me a sample of his and he even offered me more. But after all that coffee, I can't have any more sweet. I need something savory or something that'll lighten me up a little. So there was a street vendor selling these little crabby apples covered in a thin sugar coating, sort of like candy apples, and I've seen them before on the internet. I forgot the name of them, but I want them so bad, and I looked all over the US, but I have to use Korean cash, and I don't have any. I went to 7-Eleven and I tried to take money out, but the ATM didn't have English 100%, so I couldn't understand and I couldn't get money out. And I tried to exchange money, but all the places I went to wouldn't exchange money, so now I have to go. They were mad at me for being late to the bus at the palace. So I was so close I could smell it. It smelled so good. So sad. So I took the 5-hour tour this morning. We did a couple short things in Seoul, and now I'm going to do the afternoon tour in Incheon, which is the name of the airport, but also the name of the 3rd largest town in South Korea, which is right next door to the airport. I wasn't sure this temple visit would be that interesting, but not only is it beautifully decorated, it has the most amazing views of Incheon. So the next stop on this tour is this beautiful site memorializing the victory over North Korea, ruling the entire country of North and South Korea. And it has flags representing all the countries that helped out, and some of the scenes are recreated, and some of the tanks and missiles are also here. It has a really peaceful quality. We're looking through this like museum area that sort of just highlights, you know, all the details of the war and how they won and their strategy and their weapon comparison, everything. The point of the tours is to encourage visitors to come back to South Korea again, and they definitely made me want to do that. If I could have done one thing differently, it would have been to ditch the tour to stay in Seoul a little longer and then found my own way back to the airport before my flight. There were definitely people who did this and they were okay with it. That's it for my Asia travels for a while, but I have some very different travels coming up, so if you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when new videos are available.